Every once in a while, you start a game expecting nothing. You boot it up because someone mentioned it once, or because it's been sitting in your library staring at you like a guilty reminder. That was me with The Darkness. I thought I was walking into an old PS3 shooter with a cool gimmick. Demon arms, some edgy dialogue, maybe a couple of memorable kills. But somewhere between the mob drama, the late night subway rides, and the voice whispering in Jackie's ear, this game stopped feeling like a shooter and started feeling like something else entirely. Something personal, something heavy. And then the second game hit me even harder. Not with bigger guns or louder explosions, but with moments that made me pause gameplay. Genuinely pause. Because the line between Jackie's reality and his mind started to blur in a way that had me questioning everything right alongside him. I didn't expect to get sucked into a story about trauma, control, and identity disguised as supernatural power fantasies. And when the ending rolled around, that final revelation, I was convinced the game was building towards some massive showdown. I felt that pulse of excitement, the, oh, we're really doing this kind of hype. And then it cut to black. No fight, no closure, just a cliffhanger so sharp it might as well have been a blade. That moment stuck with me, and it made something very clear. The darkness didn't disappear because it was bad. It disappeared because it was too weird, too emotional, too ambitious, and too ahead of what the industry wanted at the time. So let's break down why this series hit as hard as it did, why it deserved so much more, and why, even today, it refused to fully fade away. This is why The Darkness is a forgotten series. One thing that makes The Darkness stand out, even before you touch a controller, is where it comes from. The game is based on the Top Cow comics, the same universe as Witchblade and the Magdalena, and that already tells you the tone is nothing like Marvel or DC. This world isn't about capes and speeches, it's about power as suffering. It's about ancient forces using human beings as disposable containers. In the comics, the darkness isn't a mutation or an accident. It's one of the first beings to ever exist, a primordial force locked in eternal conflict with its opposite, the Angelus, light and dark, order and chaos, creation and destruction. Neither of them is good, neither is meant to win, and humanity is stuck in the crossfire. What makes Jackie's situation tragic is that the darkness passes from father to son at the moment of conception. Jackie didn't earn it. He didn't get chosen. He inherited something that never cared who he was. His future was sealed long before he knew the curse existed. And that theme, a destiny forced on someone who didn't ask for it, is baked into every part of the game's storytelling. You feel it in the atmosphere. You feel it in the way NPCs talk to him. You feel it in the way the darkness speaks. And you feel it most in the moments where Jackie tries and fails to keep the people he loves safe. Starbreeze Studios approached the first game with this idea. What if having power didn't make you strong? What if it made you lonely? Darkness 1 is slow on purpose. The pacing isn't designed around big set pieces or flashy moments. It's built on quiet dread. You walk through dim train stations where you hear people arguing in the distance. You listen to mobsters complain about their lives. You visit places that feel worn down, tired, lived in. And then there's the darkness itself. A voice that doesn't guide you, doesn't help you, and definitely doesn't respect you. Mike Patton's performance is wild in the best way. It doesn't feel like a demon giving advice. It feels like an unwanted roommate tapping on the inside of your skull, whispering things that make your skin crawl. But for all the atmosphere, the moment that defines the entire game comes later. It's the moment everyone who played it still remembers. And I'm not going to spoil the details. You either know the scene or you don't. What I will say is this. The game takes that one small piece of light in Jackie's life, the one part of the world that feels warm and human, and forces you into a situation where all you can do is watch that light disappear. You can't move, you can't fight, you can't save, and the darkness revels in your pain. That is the emotional anchor of the entire franchise. Because once you've experienced that kind of moment, you understand why Jackie is never the same again. And that leads directly to how the second game shifts everything you think you understand.
Must have been about 1,000 years old or something. Real fire and brimstone type of guy. Used to tell us kids that hell wasn't some bullshit story they made up to keep us in line. It was fucking real. A fucked up place where all the deadbeats, hookers, dealers, and junkies all ended up. And if we weren't careful, that's exactly where we were gonna go. Fuck. If only it were that easy.
When Digital Extremes took over for the sequel, the shift in style made a lot of people go, whoa, what is this? The cel-shaded comic look, the faster combat, the more dramatic lighting, the louder action scenes. On paper, it feels like the total opposite of the first game. But when you play it after finishing Darkness 1, something clicks. This isn't a tone shift because a new studio took over. It's a tone shift because Jackie's world is collapsing from the inside. He's more traumatized, more paranoid. He's more dependent on the darkness, and he's more unstable emotionally. The world reflects his mental state. It looks stylized because Jackie isn't seeing things clearly anymore. The combat is wilder because his control is slipping. The story is louder because the darkness is louder. Everything in the sequel is a reflection of Jackie's internal decay. And it all comes to a breaking point in the asylum scenes.
You are nothing! You are unworthy! The Psyvine will consume you, torture you!
I mean, yes! Just close your eyes.
This is the moment that hit me the hardest. Not because it was scary, but because it was quiet in a way that felt wrong. One second, you're tearing people apart with demon arms. The next second, you're strapped to a wheelchair under hospital lights with a doctor calmly telling you that none of this is real. The brilliance of this moment isn't that the game says your powers are fake. It's that it might be true. The voices sound different. The lighting is too sterile. The corridors feel endless. People from Jackie's life show up as nurses, orderlies, therapists, and they speak with a sincerity that genuinely made me pause the game. For a moment, I wasn't sure which version of the world to believe. And that confusion, that doubt, is something the story uses to push you toward the ending. Because nothing about Jackie's life is reliable anymore. Not his memories, not his perceptions, not his powers, not even himself. And that is what makes the ending so powerful.
Consumes you!
I won't spoil the details, but I will say this. The final act takes Jackie somewhere he's never been, literally and emotionally. He confronts pieces of himself he's been running from since the first game. He faces the consequences of clinging to something he's never been allowed to keep. And just when you think the story is about to resolve, the universe opens its wings. The Angelus arrives. Not hinted, not teased, fully present, fully realized, and fully terrifying. And in that split second, I honestly thought the game was gearing up for the biggest boss fight of the generation. I had that excited shock where your brain fires off like, oh, we're really doing this. This is it. And then the scene cuts to black. No fight, no closure, just a cliffhanger so sharp it practically bleeds. If you read the comics, the implications are massive. This reveal sets up a host war, cosmic balance, Jenny's transformation, Jackie's fate, the entire direction of the universe. But the games never got the chance to explore any of it.
Give me the darkness of your own free will.
Fuck you!
Then not of your own free will. I'm trying to help you, but if you're too stupid to see it, I'll negotiate in a language even you can understand. Mr. Bragg, kill everyone in the mansion.
Hey, how about I tear off her useless old tits? What do you think of that, Jackie boy?
The darkness didn't disappear because the games were bad. They disappeared because the industry at the time was brutal. The first game sold well, but not blockbuster numbers. The second game launched in 2012, one of the most stacked release years gaming has ever seen. You had Borderlands 2, Dishonored, Far Cry 3, Mass Effect 3, Halo 4, Max Payne 3, and absolute giants with massive marketing budgets. The darkness wasn't a safe bet. It was violent. It was psychological. It was emotionally heavy. It was based on a comic license that wasn't mainstream. And it ended on a cliffhanger that demanded a third game. Publishers don't greenlight maybe stories. And the darkness was full of maybes. The kind of story that needed risk, patience, and long-term vision. And the industry at the time just wasn't built for that.
You have to go now.
I don't want to go. I want to stay here with you.
I know.
Finishing both games back to back, the thing that stuck with me wasn't the combat or the demon powers or even the big twists. It was the feeling of watching a story that deserved a chance to breathe, a story that deserved a real ending. Just stop. Not fail, not fade, stop. Some games stick with you because they're perfect. The darkness sticks with you because it's unfinished in a way that feels personal. It makes you think about everything that could have been, not just everything it was. And that's why people still talk about it today, because some stories don't need endings to matter. Thanks for listening. If you want more deep dives into the games time forgot, hit sub, drop a comment, and stick around. We're building something. And remember, the bound always return.